Blog Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Laurie Smith on Blog Talk Radio, and it is Thursday, February the 11th, 5:30 in the morning. I'm so glad to be here, and as always, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're here too. I'm very thankful for you tuning in. This is One Child Abuse Survivor to Another, and we're still talking about the topic of trauma, looking at an article that I found on helpguide.org, www.helpguide.org, called Healing Emotional and Psychological Trauma, Symptoms, Treatment, and Recovery. And so we're going to finish up this article there today, and there's other resources there available, so I'll be sure and read those out. Or you can go and look at this article yourself at www.helpguide.org. So yeah, that's what we're going to continue on with today, and I'll just do a housekeeping thing. I'm not a professional counselor or therapist, and I don't have any certificates in those areas. This is not a professional show, so it's not to replace professional help, right? This is just a show that I do because I really care about people, and I think that there's just so many things that people do not talk about, just because in the past, throughout history, really, no one really wanted to discuss these things because they're so uncomfortable, and also it was just kind of kept silent under the carpet due to social stigma and things like that, because I cover all kinds of topics regarding child abuse and human rights abuses. So, I think it's just so important to actually, break the silence and be one more voice out there just saying, that this needs to stop. And without people standing up and getting involved, like myself, I decided to get off the couch and finally, get involved. And without that, it's just going to keep on continuing on in the dark, in silence, and people are going to continue to suffer in silence, and I think that is just wrong. I think we need to bring abuse right out into the forefront of society, because when you look around and you see how many people are actually being abused, whether it's a child or a man or a woman in a domestic violence situation, or an elderly person, or just anyone, someone who's mentally challenged, or people who are handicapped, people are being abused all over the place. And if we don't start talking about it and actually making some real positive change in the laws and also in our hearts towards this stuff, it's just going to continue on. And I just think it needs to be right out front and center where people are talking about it, and just getting the information out there that there is help and hope for people who have been abused or who are being abused right now. So this is the thing. It's so important. I'm glad that you can be here. But make sure you listen at your own discretion, because these topics are very sensitive. And if you know yourself that it makes you uncomfortable, you want to turn it off. Don't even listen to it, and go listen to something else. It's just so important. And if it might make you trigger. If it might bring back bad memories or things that could trigger you to feel bad, then please don't listen to it, because I want everybody to be comfortable, and this is a prevention and awareness, education, prevention and awareness of child abuse and all kinds of abuses, really. So that's what it's about. And I'm an advocate for child rights and against child abuse and human rights abuses. So that's what I do. I like talking about it. Doesn't make me it does make me a little uncomfortable, but when I know that it's going to help somebody down the road, and it's helping myself too, it makes it worth it, because we just need to really get the word out there to people that there's help, there's hope, and that you can keep moving forward. So I'm glad you can be here. And if you're under 18, just make sure you find someone to listen to it with you, even just one or two times, so that they can kind of say, okay, I think that's all right for you to listen to, or no, I don't think it's okay. And this is really important, right? Because people can then help you with questions that you might have. Hopefully, maybe like a teacher or counselor, or somebody who's got a good head on their shoulders if you don't have a good parental figure, like so many of us didn't or don't. So we'll just continue right on here with this article. This was www.helpguide.org, and that is a great website. I love all the information on there. It's really good. Healing Emotional and Psychological Trauma, Symptoms, Treatment, and Recovery. We've been talking about it all week, and yesterday we were talking about when to seek professional help for emotional or psychological trauma, and like if all of a sudden you're having trouble functioning at home or work, or living in fear and anxiety, depression, maybe having a hard time making relationships and having a good close relationship with anyone, experiencing nightmares and flashbacks and memories, things that are terrifying to you, right? That's when we might decide that, okay, it's time to seek professional help, because we want to have a good life, and I think everybody deserves it. And trauma affects everyone, really. Trauma is something that, it comes from all areas in life, death in the family, illnesses, you name it, car accidents, just anything that happens to you. You might fall down and hurt yourself. Things that happen to you that are traumatic, it causes these intense feelings of stress, and then it becomes a fight or flight situation. Your body's under stress, and the emotional reactions might cause you to have emotional difficulties and things. So I just think everyone in their lifetime probably experiences some trauma. And so that's why I think this article is so good. Treatment for psychological and emotional trauma, that's what we're going to continue on here today with. In order to heal from psychological and emotional trauma, you must face and resolve the unbearable feelings and memories you've long avoided. Otherwise, they will return again and again, unbidden and uncontrollable. Trauma treatment and healing involves process trauma-related memories and feelings, discharging pent-up fight-or-flight energy, learning how to regulate strong emotions, and building or rebuilding the ability to trust people, trust other people, it says. So this is really important because those are some serious kind of after effects of trauma, and so we need to know that there is help out there. It says trauma therapy treatment approaches. The following therapies are commonly used in the treatment of emotional and psychological trauma. Somatic experiencing takes advantage of the body's unique ability to heal itself. Excuse me, the focus, excuse me, I'm just waking up so my voice isn't that great. The focus of therapy is on bodily sensations rather than thoughts and memories about the event. By concentrating on what's happening in your body, you gradually get in touch with trauma-related energy and tension. From there, your natural survival instincts take over, safely releasing this pent-up energy through shaking, crying, and other forms of physical release. So that's somatic experiencing. Actually letting your body work through those things. Now, I think we're supposed to do that with the help of a therapist or someone who knows about this stuff, right? I haven't had any professional therapy, so this is all new to me, and I think that's if a person would want to have professional care with that, to really have someone there to help us deal with this sort of thing, right? You don't want to be suffering on your own and alone, right? EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing, incorporates elements of cognitive behavioral therapy with eye movements or other forms of rhythmic left-right stimulation. In a typical EMDR therapy session, you focus on traumatic memories and associated negative emotions and beliefs while tracking your therapist's moving finger with your eyes. These back-and-forth eye movements are thought to work by unfreezing traumatic memories, allowing you to resolve them. So that's quite interesting because I don't know anything about this stuff, see, so it's good for me because I get to learn about it too. Cognitive behavioral therapy helps you process and evaluate your thoughts and feelings about a trauma. While cognitive behavioral therapy doesn't treat the psychological effects of trauma, it can be helpful when used in addition to a body-based therapy such as somatic experience or EMDR. So I guess that just goes along with those. You can actually use it in conjunction with those. So, that's cool. And there's a little link when you go on the website, www.helpguide.org. There's a link to these. They link EMDR therapy, a guide to making an informed choice. So they have all kinds of information here on how to, what to look for when we're making a choice to actually seek therapy and what kinds of therapy might be helpful. And these links, you click on them and they'll bring up the other information. So it's a great website. I really like it. Trauma and the body. Trauma disrupts the body's natural equilibrium, freezing you in a state of hyperarousal and fear. In essence, your nervous system gets stuck in overdrive. Successful trauma treatment must address this imbalance and reestablish your physical sense of safety. You can bring your nervous system back into balance by discharging this pent-up energy in a physical way. And then they list off these ways: trembling or shaking, sweating, breathing deeply, laughing, crying, stomach rumbling, feeling of warmth, and goosebumps. So that's quite interesting. It just kind of, helps us to get to get our nervous system back where it should be, right? And that's quite interesting. Trauma recovery tips. Recovering from emotional and psychological trauma takes time. Give yourself time to heal and to mourn the losses you've experienced. Don't try to force the healing process. Be patient with the pace of recovery. And finally, be prepared for difficult and volatile emotions. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling without judgment or guilt. And I think that's maybe why it's so good to have a therapist, because when we're all of a sudden all these flood of stuff, memories and bad feelings come to the surface, you don't want to be alone with that. I know that's what happened to me because I didn't seek anybody out. And I probably would have seemed like I was pretty crazy because I had done this for years on my own and allowed myself to feel all kinds of feelings, like in the space of my own space, because I was living on my own for a while and in my 30s and stuff, and I actually kind of worked through some of that on my own and, really should have had some help, right? Staying grounded, a trauma self-help exercise. It is very important to stay grounded. If you are feeling disoriented, confused, or upset, you can do the following exercise. Sit on a chair, feel your feet on the ground, press on your thighs, feel your behind on the seat and your back against the chair. So that's just feeling where your feet are, where your legs are, where your back is on the chair, right? That's just to get a grounding. Look around you and pick 6 objects that have red or blue. This should allow you to feel in the present, more grounded, and in your body. Notice how your breath gets deeper and calmer. You may want to go outdoors and find a peaceful place to sit on the grass. As you do, feel how your body can be held and supported by the ground. So these are just some grounding tips for exercises for people who are just having a hard time staying focused because they're disoriented, confused, or upset, right? So I think that's great. Good information. Trauma self-help strategies. Don't isolate, first of all, they said. And they also said ask for support, establish a daily routine, and take care of your health. So this is very important. Don't isolate yourself. Ask for support, reach out, get some help, establish a daily routine. Go through the motions, right, of just, okay, I have to have a shower, I have to eat, I have to pay the bills, I have to take the kids to the school, if you have children, just all kinds of things that are just a normal daily routine stuff. If we establish that, I've heard this in so many articles, there must be something to it, just to keep the daily routine going so that we, it keeps us moving forward, right? And that's just so important. Take care of your health. So don't isolate. Following a trauma, you may want to withdraw from others, but isolation makes things worse. Connecting to others will help you heal. So make an effort to maintain your relationships and avoid spending too much time alone. Ask for support. It's important to talk about your feelings and ask for the help you need. Turn to a trusted family member, friend, counselor, or clergyman. You may also want to join a support group for trauma survivors. I love support groups. Support groups are especially helpful if your personal support network is limited. And it says establish a daily routine. In order to stay grounded after a trauma, it helps to have a structured schedule to follow. So try to stick to a daily routine with regular times for waking, sleeping, eating, working, and exercise. Making sure to schedule time for relaxing and social activities too. And then it says take care of your health. A healthy body increases your ability to cope with stress. Get plenty of rest, exercise regularly, and eat a well-balanced diet. It's also important to avoid alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drug use can worsen your trauma symptoms and exacerbate feelings of depression, anxiety, and isolation. And then they have a whole bunch of links there on that page. It's just awesome. So, yeah, if you're having troubles and you need some more information, make sure you get a hold of me. I have all kinds of resources and stuff, and I don't have too much time to read them out today. But there is so many groups out there. There's healtofeel.com. This is found at http://lindalee.ning.com. These are survivors and supporters and recovery resource center called healtofeel.com, and this is a great resource. I'm actually a member of both of those groups, the women only and the regular one, and there's all kinds of stuff on there to help a person sort of walk through their self-help journey, right? There's safe alternatives. Self-abuse finally ends. 1-800-DON'T-CUT. www.safe-alternatives.com. And I'm a volunteer. I'm actually the Canada Regional Director for Dreamcatchers for Abused Children. Make sure you check out their website. Just type it right into your browser, Dreamcatchers for Abused children. They have an awesome, awesome website. And I'll be back on tomorrow morning, 5:30 in the morning, one child abuse survivor to another. I thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you keep that hope alive, and make sure you get a hold of me if you need something. If I can possibly do it, I will. And, take care, everybody. I love you, and I just hope you have a great day, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Tomorrow morning, and we'll continue on with some more articles that I can find on trauma. And maybe I'm going to focus on childhood trauma, so I'll be bringing that for you to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.